What's good, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing MET because it has been something that has been on a lot of people's minds lately. I have been seeing the discussion of MET in my comment section so much lately, especially with the extension of Peak and just the fact that we've been going through MET for the past month and a half, if not 2 months now. A lot of sites have been going on with this for about 3 months really, so there's been a lot of MET lately, and I want to discuss this with you guys. I want to get your thoughts, I want to get your opinions on MET. So yeah, I'm pretty much just going to be discussing MET today, but before we get started, tomorrow on Thursday, January 6th, it is my first ever video on my brand new channel. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to that channel down below in the link in the description. I'll put a card somewhere up here as well. Go ahead and subscribe right now. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. So I wanted to bring up this video because lately I've been getting so much discussion with this in my comment section. Like, this is probably the most talked about thing in my comments right now, and that's that people are really mad and furious about MET. I've been getting a lot of comments saying, when is MET going to end? Because of course you guys know MET has still followed with us after Peak. I've been getting a lot of comments saying I didn't know that MET was a thing before I started working here, and I wouldn't have worked here if I knew about MET. There's also a lot of people saying that we should abolish MET. There's just so much discussion in my comment section lately about MET, and I've seen it all. Like, I've seen so many people talk about it lately. So I thought today, you know what, a lot of people are interested in this right now. Why not talk about it? And that's what I'm going to be doing today. And really what I want to bring up and discuss is, do you guys think that MET should be abolished? Like, what are your opinions on MET in general? Do you think MET is okay? Do you think it should be getting rid of? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you guys think of MET in general. But my thoughts on it personally, I don't like MET. I've never been a fan of MET, and honestly, if I had known about MET before Amazon and like fully known how serious it was, because they do mention MET, I believe they do mention this during your training, so you should know about it if you've been working here. Unfortunately, a lot of people just skip through the training or read over it, but they do mention MET. I don't remember exactly where because it's been so long since I did my video trainings online, so I can't pinpoint the exact time that MET was mentioned, but they do mention MET, and I was aware of it, but I didn't think it would be this serious and this severe. And honestly, going back, if I wouldn't have known that it was going to be this serious and there's going to be so much of it, I'm not really sure if I would have taken this job at Amazon to begin with. I'm not even sure if I would have worked here to begin with if I would have known how serious MET is. So that kind of gets my thoughts across, and you guys can already see how I feel about MET. I'm not a fan of MET personally. I wish that it didn't exist. I do think that mandatory overtime should be, a voluntary. I don't think that there should be a mandatory option for it. But again, when you work at a place like Amazon and you're working at a place that is so high demand, and this is one of the places and one of the websites that are most popularly known for ordering packages, especially getting them ordered and at your house within 2 days. It's a popularly known thing. Everybody knows about Amazon pretty much. A lot of people order from Amazon. I personally order from Amazon. There's a good chance that if you're watching this video, you probably order from Amazon as well. So it is popularly known that this place is a big popular place that a lot of people order from, and I know that it probably should be expected that we work MET because, again, this is such a high demand place, especially during months like November and December, and I guess this month we're doing January too, I guess, if that's what the customers are on this month. So I know that it should be expected that we work this much, but I guess it's just, to me, it's a little bit crazy. I don't know, it's a little bit hectic sometimes, and I genuinely do think that there are some reasons that it should be abolished. And in this video I'm going to be talking about 3 of those reasons. And first I'm going to start off with is the fact that it can come out of nowhere pretty much, and it can basically ruin people's, or employees specifically, it can ruin employees' already existing plans. Like, people make their plans and they make their plans. Let's say my shift schedule Wednesday, Saturday, people got stuff they want to do on Sunday. Maybe they want to go to church, or maybe they want to go out with friends, maybe they want to go out to eat that night. Whatever they want to do, people might have pre-existing plans, and then out of nowhere on the Saturday right before that Sunday, they get hit with MET. It came out of nowhere. They had no idea it was going to be a thing. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you won't find out about MET until literally a couple of hours before your shift ends that day, or maybe even that same night, even after your last shift is already finished and you're already going out and hanging out on that Saturday night, you might find out about MET for the Sunday night, like right then and there. It's very unexpected, and it can ruin pre-existing plans. It's kind of a reason I try to almost never make plans on a Sunday anymore, because it almost feels pointless. It almost feels like I'm not going to be able to meet those plans. So I do believe that one of the reasons MET should be abolished and it shouldn't be a thing anymore is just because it can easily get in the way of employees' pre-existing plans, and it kind of makes the work-life balance of Amazon seem really crappy. Like, you don't want to go and live your life knowing that you might just get caught up on a Sunday every single week and you never know if you can make plans that day. It kind of sucks a lot, and you never know what's going to happen. So that's the reason number one. And then reason number two, this one is a big one, and that's that it can cause a large amount of stress on employees, especially when worked consecutive weeks, especially when MET is done consecutively for multiple weeks in a row. It can cause a lot of stress on employees. A lot of employees who are going to have their work-life balance pretty much ruined because they're working 50 to 60 hours every single week. It can get really tough in that situation. If you're sitting here working that much every single week, and everyone who works at Amazon knows that Amazon's not an interesting job. It can get very boring at times. It can get very mentally straining and very mentally challenging. So if you're doing that for 5 days a week and you're working 10 hours each day and you only have those 2 rest days, Amazon can start to become really stressful, especially when working this MET consecutively, week after week after week. For example, we did this sometimes in November, we did this all throughout December, and some of us are doing it, or a lot of us are doing it throughout January. Hopefully it's not going to happen until February. If it does, I'm not sure how many people are going to stay at Amazon. I'd imagine a lot of people are going to start quitting because nobody wants to work here if they're just going to sit here and be stressed all the time. It is a very stressful situation. It can cause an insane amount of stress on Amazon employees. And let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below as well. Do you think that working consecutive weeks of MET is stressful? Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't already left a like on this video, go ahead and leave a like on it as well, and subscribe down below if you haven't already. But now let's get on to point number 3. And number 3 on why I believe that overtime should be, well, that mandatory extra time should be abolished, and this is another big one, is that I think every job ever should never have mandatory overtime. I think that overtime should only ever be voluntary at every point in every job. I think that overtime should always be voluntary. I don't think that it should be legally acceptable for it to be mandatory. I genuinely believe that no job should be allowed to have mandatory overtime. I think that if people want to make their fat checks and they want to make some money and they want to work overtime at their job, I genuinely think that these people should be able to do that voluntarily and not have to force it on everyone else. I think the management should not have to force mandatory overtime on everyone. And now, yeah, I know Amazon's a little bit of an exception almost because of how busy it gets again, but I still believe that we should only be able to work overtime if we choose to, if we want to. It should not be mandatory. And I know there's not much to this point, but that's just something that I agree with. I genuinely believe that we should only work overtime if we choose to. And there's a lot of people out there at Amazon, and there's a lot of people out there who might get mad at this, who might say you're lazy or whatever. But the fact of the matter is if you want to work overtime, just work overtime. It doesn't have to be forced on everyone else, in my opinion. And again, there's ways to get around with this, in my opinion, for Amazon, and I'm gonna get into that right now. So earlier I did say I see why Amazon has mandatory extra time because of how much demand there is at Amazon. I completely understand and see why it exists, but at the same time, I do think that there are ways around this. And just one way that I think that you can get around the mandatory extra time is maybe opening shift codes up for just one day. Maybe you start opening shift codes up that are Sundays only. I know that there's people out there who see the opportunity to make $15.50 an hour at Amazon and they only have to work one day of the week. I know there's a lot of people out there who would love that opportunity to just come work one day of a week at Amazon, and that'll be it. They'll just work their 1 week. Maybe they'll have their side hustle on the side, or maybe they'll have their main job. I know a lot of people will take advantage of this. They'll have their main full-time or part-time job where they'll work 20 to 40 hours, maybe 4 or 5 days a week, and then they'll go and work an extra day at Amazon. I think that this would be great. I honestly think that it could be an option. If we added just a shift code with just one day, I genuinely think that there would be a lot of people there that would be able to get hired for that position there. I don't think you'll have trouble filling that spot, especially with how much money you can make at Amazon. So I think that opening one shift code up one day, and maybe like, I think Sundays, for example, are a good example because a lot of people for back half work Sundays as their MET day. And instead of having those back half regular workers who are already working 4 days and might be very tired on their 5th day and might not work as hard as they did previously, instead of having those people come in mandatorily, maybe just have them have their rest day, have no MET. If they want to pick up some VET, they can, but just have an extra shift code. One team that comes in every single Sunday and works their full entire shift. You know, they work maybe an 8-hour shift, maybe a 10-hour shift, maybe even a 12-hour shift if they want to. And I think some of the benefits about that is that these people will come in and they'll be super refreshed. They know they only have to do this once a week, so they're not going to start getting burnt out and tired of working at Amazon, similar to the ones who are working 4 days a week. So these people will come in and they'll be super refreshed. But not only that, it takes off the stress of other employees who have to come in and work mandatory extra time. I think that this is a great way. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this, but I think that this could be a great way to get around MET. Instead of having your employees that you already have working an extra day, why not just hire another team to work that extra day? And if there's MET for front heifers like on Wednesdays or Thursdays, you could just add another separate shift day for that as well. So you'll have people that work Sundays only and people that work Thursdays only. Whatever it is that you need to fill, whatever day you need to fill, have a team that only works those days. Maybe you can even enter incentives to these people if they want to work for Amazon full-time. Maybe you can give them options. If they work here for so-and-so amount of time, they'll be able to move up into a full-time position, or maybe like a flex position or anything like that. I think there's incentives for these people, but yeah, that's my personal opinion on MET. I definitely do think that it should be abolished and that we should be allowed to work overtime voluntarily. Like we already have VET. I think the VET should be the only option in my opinion, and I think that there's ways around it, such as hiring a team to only work on the days that were originally supposed to work MET. Now, will Amazon ever do these things? Probably not, but let me know down in the comments below what you think about it. Do you think that it is a good idea? Do you think that my proposal of having a team that comes in and works just that one day that we would be working MET, do you think that that is a good idea? And let me know down in the comments below your thoughts and opinions on MET overall. Do you think that it should be abolished? Do you think that we should keep MET? Do you think that we should be forced to work overtime? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'm going to end that video there. So if you did enjoy that video, leave a like, subscribe down below if you haven't already. I make Amazon content weekly, and again, if you haven't already as well, go ahead and check out my other channel in the link in the description below. First ever video is out tomorrow, Thursday, January 6th. So let me know what you think about that video. Go ahead, subscribe to that channel and watch that video. It's going to be super funny in my opinion, super awesome to see. And yeah, hope you all enjoy that video, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'll see you on Friday, I believe. And yeah, I love you all. Peace.